Welcome back in to Talkin Sports with GBO and Ann. On today's show, we're going to do a recap of the AFC and NFC championship games. But before we do that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us. Also, click the bell to get notified anytime we come out with a new video. Also, it really helps out the channel if you hit that like button for us. So, first game of the day was Kansas City and the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals take this game in overtime, 27-24. So the Cincinnati Bengals are heading to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1989. Yes, I said 1989. It's been 33 years. Joe Burrow and team headed to the Super Bowl. So Anthony, in this game, what's some of the recaps in this game?
It's how well the Bengals defense, I think, played there in the second half after the Chiefs went down and scored on their first three possessions. The Bengals D really stepped it up there in the second half, slowed down Patrick Mahomes in this offense. You know, the Bengals were down 11 points going into the half. The Bengals defense really kept this Bengals team alive, I believe, in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, you go up, you score in your first three possessions, you go up 21-3. I mean, all the momentum's going your way. You're playing at home. The key factor in this, too, was I think that when Cincinnati was down 21-3, that pass play, you know, Joe Burrow gets away, dumps it off to P-Ryan. P-Ryan goes and scores, makes this game 21-10. Then the Chiefs get the ball back. They drive all the way down the field. And what a collapse at the end of that series.
Knowing they was getting the ball, you know, coming out in the second half, the Chiefs were getting the ball there. They got a little too greedy, I believe. They went down, I think it was at the 13-yard line or something, and Eli Apple had a pass interference on Tyreek Hill, which gave the Chiefs the ball right there at the 1-yard line with 9 or 10 seconds left. Chiefs had no timeouts, and they kept forcing the ball into the end zone. Had a questionable play call there when they didn't get into Tyreek Hill on that screen pass.
Yeah, even Andy said after the game, they asked him about that. You know, what was the deal with the play call there? Why that play call? He said, hey, that was on me. If I could go back and change that play call, would have. I think at the end of the day, you kick the field goal. One is you go up 24-10, going in the half, all the momentum on your side. Your offense is playing good, your defense is playing good, and then you get the ball started the second half.
Up two touchdowns.
Up two touchdowns. So once they didn't get that and convert to a touchdown 10.5, I think all the momentum in the world
shifted right there.
Yeah. And two, with us growing up playing sports, momentum's huge. And we don't think about it that much, but just in this game, you know, I've seen what momentum did for the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, it really gave them spirit, gave them a chance, gave them hope in this football game. And I think you've seen that come out in the second half. Yeah,
for sure there. If you look at the team stats for this game, I mean, they're just about dead even there. The time of possession, the Bengals won that. They had 35 minutes of possession. The Chiefs had 30 minutes of possession. You look at the rushing stats, I mean, they're almost dead even. I believe the Chiefs had a little bit more rushing yards, maybe about 20 or 30 rushing yards. And then you look at the third down conversions, they're about dead even there. The Bengals went 8 of 14, I believe. The Chiefs went 6 of 12. It all comes down to that final drive, I believe, where Patrick Mahomes, I think he was trying to do a little too much there, trying to score to put his team ahead instead of settling for the field goal. He takes those 2 back-to-back sacks, which were huge, almost knocked him out of field goal range to be able to tie the game.
Yeah, I mean, even looking at this too, you know, the Bengals had 4 sacks against Mahomes, where, you know, we talked about in our previous show where is the Bengals offensive line going to be able to hold up for Joe Burrow. And you had them come in and not only sack Burrow one time. Now, did he get pressure a ton and get away from it? Yes, but at the end of the day, they still only gave up 1 sack. So, which is kudos to that offensive line, because I didn't expect them to play as good as they did in this game.
I'm with you on that. I didn't see that performance from that offensive line. They did give up some pressures, but they only allowed 1 sack, which was huge. Joe Mixon got the ground game going. I believe he had right over 80 yards of rushing. And that's what they was looking to do. They was trying to get some of that pressure in. Some of that off of Joe Burrow there. I think they ran the ball 21 times with Joe Mixon, a couple times with Perry. But overall, good game. They shut down, the Chiefs defense shut down Jamar Chase, so wouldn't go let him have another big game.
I mean, they were double covering him. You just said they were rolling the coverages over to him. So it really, we said in the previous show too, we thought we would have a pretty good game. The first quarter, I thought, oh my gosh, you know, I think he had 3 grabs in the first quarter. So I was thinking he's going to go off in this game. But it was Higgins.
Yeah, T. Higgins stepped up.
6 catches, over 100 yards. So really good game for him. So they lost their tight end, which was
early
big,
in the game too,
which killed me on our FanDuel picks because I had him. So really put me out of the contest after that. But overall, I mean, what more can you say about Joe Burrow?
Ice in his veins, that's for sure.
That and then McPherson.
Yep.
I mean, the best kicker in the National Football League. I think, I know he's only a rookie, but you look what this guy's done as a rookie. I mean, it's just been tremendous. Bengals would not be here if it wasn't for McPherson. No doubt about it. And I have to think about it. He's the only kicker to get drafted last year, in the fifth round by the Bengals. So let's change over a little bit to the defense. Talk about the Bengals defense on here, man. How about Trey Erickson? This guy has performed all season. He goes underrated a lot, I think. In this game, he had a sack and a half, had 4 tackles. And then you look at Eli Apple, had 6 solo tackles in this game, but also did he drop an interception that could seal this game? But at the end of the day, this guy really played some really good football the past few weekends.
Yeah, he's been on a couple of different teams here too. Eli Apple has. He's finally found his groove, I believe, here in Cincinnati. They've been able to limit this Chiefs offense. The stars, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, they still had a pretty solid game, but this Bengals defense did just enough to get this victory here and move them all to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and Von Bell.
Huge game.
At safety. So I want to go back to hit on this real quick is the overtime. Okay, so point flip. Chiefs get the football, start out. Robinson's not been targeted the whole game. So your first 2 plays, you're targeting Robinson. And it kind of looks like, too, in that second half, Mahomes didn't play very good at all.
It wasn't himself.
No, I mean, not compared to the first half. Look at the first half, and I said in the show before that I thought that Mahomes would have a huge game. And started that first half, I said, man, he's going to throw for over 300-400 yards in this game, probably 4 or 5 touchdowns. But, come out the second half, it looked like a totally different guy.
Yeah, I don't know if he was injured or he got rattled there by the Bengals defense, but like you said, he just definitely wasn't the same player as he was in the first half.
I mean, it looked like he was aiming the football a lot too, so getting back there in rhythm, getting the ball out. It looked like he was aiming, especially in overtime. Those 2 balls he threw to Robinson just not characteristic of Mahomes at all. So really surprising. And then the third down play where he tries to force the ball into Tyreek Hill, double coverage. Von Bell makes a great play on it, intercepts it, and then sets up the winning drive for the Bengals there.
And I'm glad that the Bengals had that chance to win because we seen it last week where the Chiefs won the toss, never gave the Bills and Josh Allen a chance. And Burrow had his chance here and made the most of it, getting the ball second in overtime.
Yeah. We both predicted the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl. We really thought they did. They had the chance to do this. They didn't close it out. They kept the Bengals in it. They didn't close the door on them. And see what happens. One of the biggest comebacks in AFC Championship history, 18 points. So big win for the Bengals. We talked about this a lot, how young the Bengals are. But the performances that they put up the past 2 or 3 weeks have been big time. And I look at them as a Cinderella story. I mean, it really is almost March Madness, guys. So it's the Cinderella team that you have here at the NFL, which is the Cincinnati Bengals. And I found myself rooting for the Bengals yesterday. When they started making that comeback, and I said, man, they're going to win this game. Then when the coin flip and the Chiefs got it, Arrowhead just erupted. And you thought the Chiefs were going to go down just like the week before against the Bills and score and ball game's over, but that didn't happen. So Bengals move on to the Super Bowl. Like we said before, it's been 33 years since the Bengals have been there. Boomer Esiason, Sam Weiss. So we'll talk about this game more and talk about the Super Bowl more on the next show. So let's move over to the game 2 where you had the Rams taking on the 49ers. 49ers going into the Rams. You look at this game, a back and forth football game. Rams go up, then the 49ers come back and go up 10. And then the Rams pull this game off 20-17 with a Matt Gay 30-yard field goal to win it under 2 minutes. But 49ers had a chance. So let's talk about this game.
What really stood out for me is how well Matthew Stafford played. He had a lot of pressure coming into this game, into the playoffs, really not having a playoff win under his belt as long as he's been in this league. But he found a way to lead this Rams team to victory. He did have 1 interception thrown, but he passed for the most yards out of all quarterbacks yesterday. He passed for right over 337 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, like I said, 1 interception. Both teams couldn't establish a ground game, but Stafford, he did just enough to get this team to a victory. Another huge standout game for lead wideout Cooper Kupp. I mean, you just can't stop that guy. He had another huge game.
Cooper Kupp's definitely got my vote for MVP this year. I think if you take him away from this team, they are definitely not where they are. The guy continues to get open game after game after game. And what's crazy about it, I thought the 49ers would give him some double teams, but I didn't see it much. I didn't. Maybe a couple times they did in this game, but overall, they didn't double team him, which was a huge mistake. So too, not only did he have a big game, but too, Odell Beckham Jr., man, he had a really strong performance too in this game. But too, 49ers still had a chance to win this football game. They really should have won the football game. I mean, going down the stretch, I think some of the play calling was questionable. They got away from the run game because if you look at the 49ers and what they've done all season, they're a run-first football team. They want to run the football about 35 to 45 times a game. And in this game, they only rushed the ball 20 times. So they got away from what they got them there, rushing the football. So really hurt them, I think, at the end. But also, too, they gave way too many chances back to the Rams. And the Rams and Stafford and that team converted. You couldn't stop Cup, man. Cup was just every time you think something. When you think about the drop touchdown pass that the Rams had, Cup was wide open on that series as well. So a lot of opportunities missed in this football game.
49ers, they were up like 17-7, I believe it was, with 12 or 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I believe Shanahan got a little bit too conservative with his play calling, and I think that's what ultimately cost them the game here. They just could not move the chains. Like you said, Cooper Kupp, just about every third down conversion, it was Cooper Kupp finding the first down and getting those yards he needed. Just absolutely another huge game by him.
And then the other thing is, too, the drop interception. I know Tart, I know it's probably all he's thinking about today, because if he intercepts that football, Rams have no timeouts. They can't stop the clock. That's probably a ball game there. So instead of him getting that interception, Rams still go down. They kick a field goal, tie the football game. Now it's 17-17. So that was a big-time play in this football game, I believe.
For the 49ers offense, Debo had another good game. I mean, almost 100 total yards, 1 touchdown. Nobody else really stepped up for that offense for the 49ers offense. Elijah Mitchell got contained. Kittle, he only had 2 catches, but he did have a touchdown. Brandon Ayuk, I guess he would have the second best game on the offensive side for the 49ers, but I just didn't see the other playmakers step up like I thought for the 49ers.
Yeah, and you see after the game how emotional Debo was, how much he cares about this game, about the 49ers, and them coming up short. It was really, too, tells me that it's more about the game than his financial. He's there, he's making a ton of money. But at the end of the day, he's putting everything he has on the line to win this football game. So it was very impressive. Another guy for the Rams, safety, Eric Weddle. This guy was sitting on the couch 3 to 4 weeks ago. Was playing pickup basketball at the YMCA. Now he's starting safety
in the NFC Championship.
Game for the Rams. I mean, this guy, I think he had 9 tackles. He had 9 tackles in this game, a tackle for loss, and a lot of saving tackles that could have been bigger plays for the 49ers. Probably even saved a couple of touchdowns. So, I mean, just a performance by this guy. And I think something else that we talked about too is, before the fourth quarter, really not a lot of pressure been put on Jimmy G. But that fourth quarter, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Floyd, I mean, they really ramped things up, man. They put a lot of pressure on Jimmy G that fourth quarter.
Yeah, like you said, the Rams kind of surprising stat. They didn't have a single stat against Jimmy G and the 49ers, but that fourth quarter, like you said, the pressure just kept coming for Jimmy G on the offense. He had 9 dropbacks total. 7 of those dropbacks, he was getting pressured. He had just having to escape the pocket, trying to throw on the run. And that's something that's not one of Jimmy G's strong points in his game. So they didn't sack him, but they got on to him. 7 pressures out of 9 dropbacks, which is huge.
Yeah, and then you go down to the last drive. So you had, the Rams kick the field goal. Still plenty of time left to drive the football down. One to score a touchdown to win the ball game, or kick the field goal to tie it and we're going overtime. I think if Shanahan could go back and change some of the play calls, I think he would. But one is, too, I don't understand why you had Hasty in the game instead of Mitchell, putting Debo back there, or somebody else, another pass catch.
Somebody that had some experience in this game.
Right.
Hasty wasn't in much at all. He was in there on the final, one of the most important drives of the game.
You don't play him the whole game, and then, hey, last series is down for us. Hey, get out there, go play. It's just, you put the guy in a tough situation there. But, too, just the play call in there, I think you probably look back and, may have changed a couple of things. And then Jimmy G, you just can't make that play there. You got to survive to play another down. They had one more down. They got that first down. Because too, all you really, one is you get the opportunity to score and win a game, great. But at the end of the day, your job, man, you got to get this field goal. You got to tie this ball game. Give your team a chance, and they didn't do that. So now the Rams go into the Super Bowl. This will be their 5th appearance in the Super Bowl in franchise history. So you got the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks. So guys, what we'll do too is we'll come back on for you guys. We're going to do a Super Bowl special for you guys. We're going to break down the Rams against the Bengals. We'll break that down for you guys. Also give you our predictions. We'll be back on for that. So for Charles, Anthony, we'll see you guys on the next show.